Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Tejo on Icebox. Today is day 96 of playing every agent on every map. Today's agent Tejo has been on the forefront of the utility heavy meta. Playing him, especially in a combination with a breach, is a pretty good thing. So if you want to play him in your ranked games, I recommend you have a breach that comes with it. So ask your duo to play, for example, a breach when you're playing a Tejo, because it is a really strong combination. You can get the information with the Tejo drone, then you can stun them with breach, and then you can use Tejo mollies right where they are, and you can get a lot of damage on them, or even make it impossible for them to play that area, and you're gonna get a kill with the Tejo mollies. In general, you can also use Tejo by himself, but using him in combination with some other agents, for example Deadlock or Breach, that are able to stun or make somebody not be able to move, is a pretty good idea. Starting off with A-side defense. On A-side defense, you can set 2 mollies in the beginning of the round, right here on belt. Make sure they are on top, so you hit everyone that is trying to come up belt. And then, as soon as the round starts, you pop these mollies, you go on the row, and then you jump over here. It's kind of a skill jump, you can train that. It is easier with a chat, and it's also better with a chat because the chat can then get up here and pick the people that are trying to come up belt from up here because they can't come up while the mollies are up, or even the people that are trying to come out here in a main, and the chat or you can take a lot of space right here and get a early peek on the enemies. The same idea can also be done on the other side. On the other side, you can set mollies here and here at the beginning of the round. Instantly pop them as soon as the round starts, and then you can walk up here and kill the people that are trying to come up belt from here and get a free kill on them without them really expecting you, because most of the times if somebody is coming up on this side, they are gonna get peeked by the people that are coming through here, but since they are mollied off, you can't really do that. Other things you can also do is, as soon as the enemies are trying to come in a little later in the round, is to use a stun like this. One bounce close here, or just peek around the corner like this. Same thing also from Gen. From Gen it is a little more risky because they can see you and then they can use some util to clear you out, but you can just peek out like this and then peek out again as soon as they are stunned, and you can collect your free kills. And then for your drone is, in my opinion, mainly a retake tool, not really an information tool. You can use it as an information tool pretty well as well. If you want to get a main information and the enemies are like not giving out any noise or anything, you can throw your drone up like this and then jump from here over and check out the main like this. You can also go here close and then throw a drone up like this, but this one is a pretty risky drone. I don't really recommend doing because you're standing in the open and the information you get out of it isn't really the greatest. Other than that, just using the drone as a retake tool is probably the best thing you can do with the drone. For a retake, I recommend you come either here or screen, check out close under, check out the rest of site, make sure to clear all the corners out, and if you see like somebody specific that you want to detain, for example a chat with her ult, you can go for the pop, but else it is recommended that you just keep on clearing, get as much information as you can, and then you pop it in the end to detain the people that are close by. Same thing also from here. You can drone out like this, check close, either go towards main or go towards side, backside, and then pop it. Anyone that is in visible range can get hit by it and is detained. And now for some ults. On ults you have a couple of options. One is a pretty good one. It is one like this. This ult is a ult I recommend if the enemies are trying to go for a killjoy ult. Because you can push the people back that are playing aggressively in a main that are already close, and they are either going to push into you because the ult is going from left to right. This is how it ends. And anyone that is close, you can stop them with mollies here and here to stop the enemies from coming in. You have to pop these mollies instantly, and in general, using this ult is a pretty good ult to just get rid of a killjoy ult and try to do a lot of damage to the players that are trying to come close. Other than that, using the Tejo ult for a side retake is more recommended. One like this is pretty good because you get almost all of front side. You can even curve it a little, like this, and then use mollies right here and right here to do even more damage to the enemies. Or you can also use the mollies close here and close here to stop the enemies from running out towards this side and do even more damage and clear out the backside pretty easily. The other option for an ult is one like this, where you ult side like this, and you place your mollies here and here. It covers all of the spots where people can play in main, except for up here. You can also choose to use your second molly, one down here, one up here. It will do the same thing, and it makes it pretty easy for you to take the main space, and it will make it pretty hard for the enemies to escape. Switching over towards mid now. On mid, there's not really much you can do. What you can do sometimes is to drone out mid to get information, but most of the times you get that information either way. You can come down here, check close, and then pop the drone, and you're gonna detain anyone that is in visible range. And in general, using your drone in mid is not really recommended. And some other util in mid you can use if they are actually trying to go for a mid take is something like this. One top tube and one right here. And then play from close here and just spam. You're gonna get a lot of damage off of the enemies because the people that are in tube have to run out either towards the front. Usually you can have a teammate right there. Or they gotta run out towards the back, run into this molly right here, and then run out even further. And with you just spamming through the smoke right here, you're gonna do a lot of damage. Or the person that is going top tube is gonna also get damaged, and they either have to drop off or walk up here, and up here is a pretty open spot. They can be seen from a couple of spots. Switching over towards B now. On B, I recommend you use your mollies just to do plant denial or to kill the Sova that is trying to drone. So as soon as you hear a drone, you can use a molly right here and right here.
All missiles away.
And you can most of the times get a kill off of the Sova, because it is pretty hard for him to get out of his drone and then run out of the mollies all the way till here without taking any damage, and most of the times you're even gonna kill that guy. The other option for mollies is just to use them for plant denial. In general, you can use the first set of mollies for drone denial, so if somebody is droning, even a Sky, if they have a Sky dogging from garage, you can use these two mollies, and then as soon as they are trying to go for a side hit, you can use the second mollies right here and right here, or even further back to stop them from planting and do a lot of damage on the person that is trying to go for a plant. You can then also use a stun like this, or use your stun for the retake. What you can also use for the retake is your drone from back here. Make sure to check out yellow, and then pop it around right here. And another way to also clear out behind yellow, this spot right here, you can use a stun like this, one bounce, and it will land pretty much perfectly right here. If they have already planted and you didn't have your mollies for the plant denial, you can use the mollies like this to deny anyone from playing either yellow or close here on top. And the people that are playing on yellow either get pushed back out here or get pushed back into main, and you can have a free time just holding them. For a ult, one I actually think is a pretty good ult is one like this, to kind of push the enemies into you. But for that you have to know that the enemies are already pretty close, and you also have to be pretty fast with your mollies because you're going to use your mollies in copy and in garage to stop the enemies from running out there.
This is how it ends.
So you can use like this.
All missiles away.
It is pretty possible that the enemies are running away through the copy area right here into garage, but else you can push the people out and you can have just somebody holding them and waiting for them to come out right here and do a lot of damage to them. This is also pretty effective if the enemies are trying to go for a Killjoy ult, because your ult breaks a Killjoy ult as well. And then another ult you can use pretty much the same way to stop the enemies from peeking you is one like this. It does the same thing, just the other way around.
This is how it ends.
And then mollies like this.
All missiles away.
Make it pretty hard for the enemies to get away, and they're gonna take a lot of damage, and you have a easier time going for the defuse, and you for sure are gonna get at least a half. Switching over towards attack. Attack is pretty simple on Tejo. Most of the times you're gonna get close here, you're not gonna use any util unless you wanna like stop a early peek from either here on top of pipes, or people that are trying to peek here. In case the enemies like to do that, you can use mollies here and here, or just wherever they are usually early peeking to stop them from doing that. Also, just gonna get close up here. You're gonna use your drone, try to get as much information as you can, check out the close corners right here. If you see somebody, you can even jump up here. Tejo's drone is really bouncy. You can also get onto top side if you do it right. Just jump here, and then jump out like this. And in general, like that, you can get a lot of information over the side. If you then see somebody is in this close corner right here, you can use mollies like this. or like even close here. Whenever you see somebody, you can just molly them out and hold them with your team. Or you can also use the mollies to stop the enemies from peeking out. For example, here on rafters, you can use a molly like this to stop the enemies from peeking out. Another really good molly is close here and close here. If the enemies like to play in this close corner right there, they either have to push in towards you or run away from you. And if in case they run away, they're going to take a lot of damage from the mollies. And in general, it is a pretty simple way to take the site. By the way, if you want to use an ult for the side take, you can use it like this to flush people out.
This is how it ends.
And then use mollies here close
All missiles away.
to make it almost impossible for them to play on the side. You can then even use a stun like this to clear out all of the corners on the site, and you can take side pretty freely. If you don't want to use your ult like this, the other ult you can use is one like this to stop the enemies from pushing out of screen.
This is how it ends. My ultimate is
Then use
ready.
mollies like these.
All missiles away.
This ult is one I don't really recommend. You can use it to disrupt the enemy retake or if they have a killjoy ult, but other than that I don't really recommend that ult. And then stuns, you can use them in close quarters like this. If you know somebody's close here, you can stun them like this. You can also use them like
Grenade is
this.
live.
Just don't stun yourself like I just did.
Grenade is live.
Make sure you don't stun yourself and then peek around the corner. Same thing also with here, for example. You can stun rafters and under. Same thing also here, by the way.
Live.
You stun the under area in this close corner and you stun the people that are playing up here, which is a pretty good stun. Or just in general, use the stuns when you see somebody or when you try to stop them from coming out of, for example, the wall right here. You can use a stun like this, or you can even use a stun like this.
Ammunition.
You stun a little deeper and stun the people that are playing close here. Other than that, there's not really much you can do. Switching over towards mid now. On mid, you can firstly go close here and then drone in either into tube, under tube, and towards B or towards A. Always depending on where you want to go, or you can also use that as a fake. Or another really cool drone that is not the most useful one, but it looks really cool and that is almost impossible to break, is if you have taken the space right here, make sure you have somebody that holds you, and then you can throw your drone up
Drone going out.
and get on top of tube, and then when you jump down, scan to make it the drone scan from like up here, which is a pretty good scan because they get the people that are playing on B, and it is almost impossible to break because the people are not going to expect to be a drone to be on top of the tube. Other than that, you can stop the enemies from peeking you right here on boiler. Same thing with kitchen,
All missiles
with
away.
mollies like these. Same thing also with under with mollies like
All
these.
missiles away.
But if you want to take the under space, I don't recommend using mollies like these because like that you kind of stop yourself from pushing that area. Switching over towards B now. B has a lot of really close corners, so I recommend you drone them out. Again, if the enemies also have a Tejo, be aware that he can molly you, so always have a teammate that is watching you and tells you when you're getting Tejo mollied.
Drone going out.
And then you can drone out like this, even jump up here, check the close corners here, and pop your drone. Or you can go even further
Located
and
target.
clear out yellow. Always check the close corners, all of them, and then check out yellow and pop your drone like this. And then you can also get like some information over people that are playing in Snowman. If you see anyone close, you can then just use mollies to clear them out. Wherever you see somebody, even your mollies on yellow are also pretty good. You can use a molly right here and a molly right here
All
to
missiles
push the people
away.
that are playing in yellow pretty far out, and it makes it incredibly hard for somebody to hold the site. Same thing can also be done like right here. If you are trying to go for a plant, you can use
All
mollies like
missiles
these to stop the enemies from playing in the most common spots and then go for a plant. It is a pretty solid thing you can do, but then you are not going to have your mollies for the post plant because the mollies take 30 seconds to recharge, and since the plant also takes 40 seconds to fully explode, you're not going to have your mollies at the time your plant went down, and then you're only going to have them like for the last few seconds, and there's just no use then. For ults, there's a couple of good ones. If you have information over yellow, you can just push the people out of yellow or push them in towards you,
This is how it ends.
and then stop them from pushing out even further with
All
mollies like
missiles
these. It makes it pretty hard for the enemies to get out, and if they are getting out, you can just hold them from like right here, even hold them from getting out right here, and do a lot of damage on them. And then another ult I actually think is even better. It is one like this.
This is how it ends. My ultimate
combined
is
with mollies here and here.
ready. All missiles away.
It makes it really hard for the enemies to play anywhere on site, and they're gonna take a lot of damage. Or you can even do another variant, and that is a ult like this one. Stop the enemies from playing into snowman and on site.
This is how it ends.
And then combine that with mollies right here and mollies right here.
All missiles away.
And then just spamming through the wall right here is gonna do a lot of damage to the people that are playing behind it in snowman. And then again, you can also save your ults and mollies to play post plant. Just make sure you are safe, and then you can just use mollies like
All
these.
missiles away.
Use a ult like this.
This is how it ends.
And what this also allows you to do is to reflag the people in main. So if you see somebody, like if you are on site, you're going for the plant, and then you go back and you want to play your mollies and your ult, you can go all the way and reflag over mid, because the enemies are not going to expect you to be there. Make sure to always have your gun out though. If you think they are going to flank you, you can then reflag over here, use mollies or use your ult first from right here, because they're not going to see the direction of your ult.
My ultimate is ready.
You can place it from almost everywhere, and then you can use mollies like these
All missiles away.
and have a great flank on the enemies, because they're not going to expect you that you are coming from here. Or if you want to do it even better, you can use your mollies from close here, so your mollies are still coming from main. Make sure to go as far away as you can. Wait, and as soon as you hear the tap, you use your mollies. Then that gives you some time. And then you can use your ult.
This is how it ends.
Gives you some more time. And then you're gonna be behind the enemies and you're gonna have a free time killing them. And one last thing for the stuns, you can use them in close corners right here if you know somebody is close. Same thing also with here, or with yellow. And same thing also with top side like this,
Live munition.
bottom side like this. Or if you're close here already and you want to go for plant, you can just use one like this and start to go for the plant. Same thing also with backside and snowman, by the way.
Grenade is live.
Just use a stun like this to stop them from coming out. The stun is, in my opinion, the worst ability of Tejo, but it is still pretty good used to clear out close corners, just to make sure you have a favorable fight on your hand as soon as you want to like push through a smoke or something. Stun them and then go back. If I had to give Tejo a rating from S to F on Icebox, I'd actually give him the A tier. He is a pretty good agent, he has a lot of different potentials, and Icebox being a map with a lot of corners which you have to clear out, making Tejo a pretty good pick because he can molly these corners, he can drone these corners, and he can also stun the close corners, so it is really good to clear out the map. You are not gonna get as much information as you're gonna get with like a Sova or a Fade, but in general, having a Tejo on your team is never a bad idea. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see any other agents on any other maps, write them down in the comments. And if you want to see anything else Valorant related, write it down there as well. And as always, don't forget to like and sub. And come say hi to me on Twitch, where I stream almost daily. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys very soon. Bye!